I believe that feelings come from the heart. The dichotomy of the origin of feelings has existed in the beginning of history. Psychologists and neurologists say our brains are capable of creating and controlling our sentiments. Poets and dramaturgs believe our hearts command our feelings. In agreement with the latter ones, I also believe our feelings are led by our hearts. I remember asking my mother about this during my youth. Mom, are feelings controlled by our brain or by our heart? I asked. Slightly rolling her eyes, as she would usually do when analyzing what I said, she answered, I think both of them control your feelings. I was amazed by the probability of having a heart that not only pumped blood through my veins, but also created feelings of mercy, rage, love, or hate. In addition to my mother's words, I have also confirmed this through another experience that I would like to share. I left my country about 14 years ago, hoping to settle abroad and raise a family. At the moment of saying goodbye to my grandmother, she started to cry and said, What shall we do? Tell our heart not to feel? Those were perhaps the last words she told me face to face before she passed away, and they have been ingrained in my memory since then. The reason why I remember them often is that I surely cannot tell my heart not to feel. I can control my thoughts, but feelings are difficult to cope with certain occasions. As I said, scientists state that our emotions are generated in our brains. Even so, here is a quote I found in a website about recovering from heart diseases. Quote, Your emotions can affect your recovery and your risk of future cardiac events. So it's important to understand your feelings, recognize problems, and get help if you need it. End of quote. This quote is incongruent with the hypothesis about emotions being a brain function. If this is so, then why are physicians from a well-known website expressing that emotions affect our heart condition? Perhaps you will think, right, feelings affect our hearts, but it does not mean that they are generated in this one. I do not pretend to persuade you in order to stop believing in science and believe me instead. I only pretend to express my belief as an intimate part of my character, not as a proven fact. Consequently, I would like to restate my belief. I believe our feelings are led by our hearts. This concept began to dwell in my memory more than 25 years ago in a small town, and it was reinforced 13 years later while bidding farewell to an elderly woman. Emotions begin in the heart indeed, and I mean it from the bottom of my heart.